Alright, this video is to show you how to polish the headlights on your car. This car in particular is a 2006 Pontiac GTO. I've seen a lot of posts on GTO forums and things on the internet where people say that you cannot polish these headlights, which I've already proved to be total BS. This is an actual before shot headlight that has not been polished. It's probably hard to see, but this one's scratched up pretty bad. It's got a lot of miles on it, rock chips, normal wear and tear scratches and things like that. Now, on the passenger side, I've polished this one already. You can actually see the splatter from all the sanding and stuff. This one, like I said, has been polished already, and it's probably hard to see with just a light and a camera, but it looks absolutely perfect. Almost brand new. Now, if you're wondering how to do this, first thing you're going to need to do is go buy some sandpaper. A lot of sandpaper. Okay, what I've got here is a 3M headlight restoration system, as they call it. Basically a kit you can buy for about 19 bucks to polish your headlights with. This car in particular, the headlights were so bad they had deep scratches and rock chips in them. So this kit wasn't actually aggressive enough to take all of those out, because the roughest or most coarse grit sandpaper that comes in the kit is actually 500 grit, so it wasn't coarse enough to do the job. So I had to cut back to a 220 grit, start with that, and block sand these by hand to get them as nice as this one is that you see here. It's a lot more work, especially since this is the 3M kit that you can chuck in a drill, and it saves a lot of time doing stuff by hand. But like I said, I had to go back a little bit more coarse, so that I could get these smoother. But there's a lot of kits out there on the market that you can buy. I personally haven't tried a lot of them. I have polished headlights and taillights before, but I basically just did ones that weren't in really bad shape, and I was able to just start with like an 800 grit and then go to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and then polish them with a buffing wheel like this and a drill, you know, just one that you would polish aluminum or metal with. But on this car, like I said, I had to basically block sand these. So I have a 3M rubber sanding block that I used to do it with. You can use a 2x4 if you want. Just be careful that you don't gouge your paint around the edges, stuff like that. I like the 3M block because it actually contours to your hand and all that BS, if you want to be a Nancy about it. What you should do before you start any of this is actually mask off these edges right here with some masking tape. You want to go all the way around. I didn't do that on this one in particular because I could do it without it. I'm just really careful. I'm not trying to say I'm a badass or anything, but I did do the other one. I did mask it, but the tape got so wet from all the wet sanding and stuff, it just peeled right back off, and I had to keep redoing it, and it just got to be a real pain in the butt. So I just quit and did most of it on this one without taping it off. So anyway, I decided I would try this 3M kit out and see if it was, you know, any good. But and it is. It works really well. It cuts out a lot of the fine sanding time and the polishing time, and it does really good for the polishing aspect of the process. It does really well. So let's get started here. Basically, in this kit, what you start out with is a 500 grit disc, and then you move to an 800. Then it's got a 3,000 pad, which is, what did I do with it? Oh, right here. Whoops. This is a 3,000 pad. It's like a foam pad, 3,000 grit. Then you move to the polishing pad. It's basically attached to this disc right here via Velcro, or as some people call it, hook and loop. In my world, it's Velcro. And then You'll use this rubbing compound on this foam buffing pad here to bring the shine out once you get it sanded all the way down. Now I've already got this headlight sanded down from how you saw it earlier. I've already block sanded it with 220 and 3. I'm going to go ahead and sand this headlight with the 400 grit. Go ahead and block it down, and then I'll be ready for the 500 on the drill. Since I have a 500 pad for the drill, I won't block sand it like I've been doing this here. It'll cut out some time on that step, so let's get started. By the way, it's good to have a bottle of just plain old water in a mist spray bottle here. This is actually an Aqua Breeze. It's just water that you can spritz the headlight with, so you can keep your sandpaper from clogging up and keep everything slick and ready to go. Go ahead and block this out. This is 400 grit. Like I said, I've already done 220 and 320. This is 400. Just trying to get the 320 scratches out. This is the same thing you'll do on the 220 and 320. Every other stage. I'm just giving you a good idea of what you have to do here. If you want to sand, you get all the rough stuff out. I'm trying not to get too close to the edges. For one reason, not to touch the paint. For the other reason, sometimes it's hard to get the scratches out of the edges. When you get to the polishing stage, you notice that, oh crap, I've got scratches all around the edges. Now I gotta go back out and sand those back out. Alright, got the 500 grit pad on the drill here. I'm gonna spray this down, hit it with the 500. Now the instructions will tell you everything you need to do here. Basically, what you want to remember is just don't keep the pad in one spot. You want to keep the disc moving around to keep the light from getting too hot and to keep everything smooth. Keep the lens from smearing or getting too hot in one spot and melting the plastic, in other words. So we'll start off right here. Sometimes I like to wet the disc a little bit too. Okay, I just sanded this light off with the 500 as you saw. Now the next step down in the 3M kit is an 800 disc, but I don't want to step down that far just because I'm being OCD about the whole thing. I'm going to step down to 600 paper that I have here. I'm just going to hit it with that real quick on the block and just take it down a little bit more. You don't really have to step down to a 600 grit like I'm doing. You can probably go down to 800. I'm just being OCD about it because that's just the way I am. I'd like to get any and all of the 500 scratches out. I'm just hitting it real quick, not getting real ridiculous with it, just trying to get everything out that I can. Rough scratches around the edges. Okay, now I've got the 600 done, so looks like I got most of the rough scratches out that I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the 800 disc. Okay, now I've got the 800 grit disc process done here. You can still see it's a little bit cloudy, but it's clearing up slowly but surely. Gonna go ahead and switch to the block again. Gonna hit it with 1000, then 2000. Like I said before, just because I'm OCD and I want it done completely perfect. Okay, don't know if you can tell, but I've already block sanded the light with 1000 and 2000. Now it's starting to look a lot more clear. Probably still hard to tell, but it's getting there and it's looking really good. So now it's time to hit it with the foam pad on the drill. And all you want to do with this is just use the water with it, like the instruction says. You don't actually use any compound on this step. Just keep it wet with water, and you know the drill. Same as before. Okay, we've got it sanded with the 3000. Now we're going to start compounding, and got the compounding or buffing foam pad attached to the drill. Now, everybody may not like to do this, but I find that when you wet the pad just a hair, you don't want to soak it, but just wet it just a little bit. It kind of helps smear the paste a little bit better. It may take some of the grit out of it, but it seems to work better for me. So we'll take some of this ribbon compound that came with it. I'm going to put about a dime-sized amount on the pad and start compounding. Same as before, except you want to spend a little bit more time doing this. Maybe make 2 or 3 passes across this thing to try to get it polished out to your liking. Just whatever you see fit. I usually do it about 2 or 3 times. See what it looks like. If it needs more, I'll do it some more. And after I get done with this, I'll come back. Okay, I've got this one all polished up, and this is what it looks like, the end result. Looks nice and tasty.